Luke 10:18-20, King James Version. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give you unto your power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice, because your names are written in heaven. There is another race that has branched off from this giant race, the red-haired lions. Their hair was red to strawberry blonde in color, the skin tone very, very fair. These entities had a difficulty exposing their skin to certain frequencies of natural light due to the planet they spring from. Some of these were also giant in stature, though there were some who were average human size. Eye color was generally light to what we would now consider green, though it is a different quality of green than you see upon your world. These entities were some of the first lions. There are many worlds that consider the red-haired ones to be the invaders, marauders of the lion genotype. Apparently there's a remnant of a red-haired group in the Pleiades. The Pleiadian version is much more watered down, but the purebred Redhead was very aggressive, violent, passionate, and to some degree very rebellious. Ethiopians claim that their gods are flat-nosed and black-skinned. The Thracians that they are blue-eyed and have red hair. Thracians having red hair brings to mind Herodotus' description of the Budini, a tribe in the region of Scythia that had blue-gray eyes and red hair. Red-haired people living in the areas referred to by the Greeks as Scythier and Greece. As comments such as these are now backed up by the discovery of Thracian art that clearly depicts people of a red-haired appearance. Homer's Iliad, both Menelaus and Achilles are described as being red-haired. The name Phoenicians loosely translates as red people. It may refer to their hair color. Phoenicians shared a common ancestry with the British. Maybe they had red hair in common as well. Phoenicians did travel up the Atlantic coast and to the British Isles in ancient times. Edomites were the descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. Purple people, the Greeks gave this name to their seafaring trade partners, the Phoenicians, because of the red purple dye they made from snail shells. And although the Phoenicians called themselves Canaanites, the name that Greeks gave them seems to have struck. Phoenicians are perhaps best known for creating the first alphabet, which influenced writing systems everywhere. So now we can identify the people who created an own alphabet, and also within the government, the alphabet system. They are actually the descendants of Canaanites. So the Phoenicia was never a unified society. It was a loose alliance of many city-states in modern-day Lebanon and Syria. And so that the city were also often controlled by other regional powers like the Egyptians and Assyrians. Bible refers to the Phoenicians as the princes of the sea. They mainly worship Baal, Astarte, and Melkart. The red-haired Atlanteans. They are all tall, blonde, or red hair with blue eyes. The average height is from 6 feet to 6 feet half inch tall, with some reported to be 8 feet tall. All the ancient civilizations of prehistory were started and ruled by seafaring redheads, who originally came from a land over the sea, often but not always equated with Atlantis. The evidence for this can be found in ancient myths and in the mummified remains of red-headed people. Ancient Egypt and are centered around the fact that many mummies have been found displaying red hair. The basic premise of the theory being that red-haired survivors from Atlantis at some point arrived at the seats of civilization. One internet article I read, titled Redhead Mummies of Egypt, began with this statement. There were the blue bloods of ancient times which extended into European times. They were semi-human. There are still to this day some animal species in South America that have copper-based blood systems. There was a problem with hemophilia, and not because of intermarrying. The problem was that they started to marry outside of the copper-based blood system. Hemoglobin and copper systems don't mix. That's where the laws against marrying commoners originated. Lobsters, octopuses, squids, and horseshoe crabs have copper-based blue blood. Egypt is the only place where red mummies have been found. They've been found as far as China and Peru. Terry mummies were found in what is now present-day Xinjiang, China, and some of them possessed red hair. Likewise, in Peru, mummies have been found with striking red locks. Other discoveries of red-haired mummies have come in Polynesia and the Canary Islands. In fact, both these places are or were looked up for red-haired people. The Canary Islands was the home of the Guanches, a red-haired tribe that built monuments which can still be seen on the islands today, and red-haired people have been looked at sporadically throughout parts of Polynesia, including New Zealand. One internet later relayed the following legend. One Kiribati legend describes eels, serpents, coming ashore who turned into red-haired men when they swam ashore. Another legend describes one of these red men copulating with a woman who was bathing in the shadows at sunrise. The legend describes the sun entering her loins, suggesting a child of the sun was born to her. When this child grew up, he set sail to the East America to look for his ancestors. So I'm wondering why they keep saying America is in the East. So there must be something about this. Both European and Pacific cultures have a common link a long, long way back in time, possibly in Atlantis 11,500 years ago. The ancient culture of Atlantis was not just carried on by the Egyptians, but was also carried on by the red-haired civilization of Philippines, and were a dominant population in America until 6,000 years ago. Of particular interest regards red hair is Easter Island. Ethically, Rapa Nui are Polynesian, though paler-skinned and with an anomalous genetic traits of red hair dating from before first contact with Europeans.